All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down a pretty bold claim today, how you can start earning real money online in just 7 days. Now, this isn't just some vague idea. It's a specific, battle-tested method from creator Gufran Hadi, and it's aimed at anyone who's starting from absolute scratch. So let's see exactly how it works. So here's the big question on everyone's mind, right? Is it really possible to go from zero to earning in just a single week? That's the whole promise we're exploring today. And just to be clear, this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about a specific, actionable plan to build a skill and find clients fast. Everything we're about to cover comes directly from Gufran Hadi's own experience and the success of his students. We've basically just distilled his entire process into a clear roadmap. So let's kick things off with the absolute foundation of his method. Every plan needs a solid foundation. And in this case, it all comes down to one core skill and one really powerful tool to help you master it. These are the two things you've got to focus on right from day one to make any of this possible. So what's the skill at the heart of this whole strategy? It's content writing. We're talking about creating written material for clients. Things like blog posts for their websites, articles, maybe content for their online platforms. It's an incredibly high-demand skill in the digital world right now. And how do you get up to speed quickly? Well, the key, according to the source, is using ChatGPT. But don't just think of it as a writing assistant. Think of it more like your personal tutor. It's a way to practice, to refine your technique, and to learn different formats incredibly fast. Okay, now for the part of the strategy that might feel a little, counterintuitive at first, it's a two-phase approach that kind of flips the usual job hunting script on its head, because it starts with offering your work for free before you get to the paid part. This quote really gets to the absolute heart of the strategy. Gufran Hadi asks a really powerful question. If you can't even convince someone to take your help for free, how are you ever going to get them to pay you? The idea is to completely remove all the risk for the client. You prove your value upfront, and that makes the transition to a paid contract feel like a natural, super easy decision for them. So here it is, the 4-step process. First, you spend your first few days just learning the skill of content writing. Second, you practice it like crazy. Third, and this is the real game changer, you find a client and you offer to write for them for free. This is how you build your portfolio and, more importantly, their trust. And finally, once you've proven your worth, you convert that happy client into a paying one. Let's just break down these two phases. The free phase is all about investment. Not your money, but your time and your skill. The goal is to build a portfolio and earn a client's trust. It's only after you've built that solid foundation that you move into the paid phase, where the focus shifts to earning a steady income and growing your new freelance business. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, here's a suggested timeline. You dedicate week 1 entirely to learning and practicing your craft. Then, in week 2, you land your first client and you start that free work. The goal is to keep this up for about 2 weeks, building trust and a solid body of work. By week 4, you're in a really strong position to ask about transitioning that relationship into a paid one. Okay. We've covered the practical steps, but the source really emphasizes that having the right mindset is just as important as the strategy itself. I mean, without this mental foundation, this whole process can be incredibly difficult to actually stick with. This quote really nails the mindset you need. The creator stresses that there are no shortcuts here. You have to be willing to start from the very beginning and really understand that every successful career, every big project begins with that first small step. So what does this mindset look like day to day? Well, it means always leading with value before you ask for anything in return. It's about being patient, knowing your skill is going to develop over time, not overnight. It means you have to actively seek feedback to get better and connect with other writers to learn faster. This isn't just about getting a job. It's a whole journey of professional growth. Now that we get the process and the mindset, let's talk about the goal. What's the potential payoff for actually following this method? What tangible results can you really aim for? The source material puts a pretty specific number on the table as a potential monthly income, 30 to 40,000 Indian rupees. And this is presented as a realistic target once you've actually established yourself with a few clients. And here's the crucial context that makes that number feel so much more achievable. This level of income doesn't require dozens and dozens of clients. According to the creator, it can be earned from just 2 or 3 steady clients, which makes the goal feel a lot more manageable and way less overwhelming. And beyond the monthly income, the long-term benefits are incredibly valuable.
Through this process, you're not just making money, you're developing a high-demand skill, building a real-world portfolio you can show to any future client, and you're fundamentally becoming a stronger, more polished, and professional writer.
So, there you have it, a really clear path to not just earning an income, but building a real, sustainable skill. It starts with learning, it moves to proving your value, and then it transitions into paid work. The process is pretty straightforward, and the journey, according to the source, can literally start today. Which leaves just one question for you. What will you write first?